So I'm Greg Reese from VIP, and I have it's a platform, an ecosystem, it's a vision, it's a guide. It's called the AI Trillionaire. And I always try to take it to the next level. So what I did was, when you see the first title, you'll see it's like a book or a guide. But it's way more than a guide. It's a mindset, the mind frame. You'll also see me coming up with those. I actually have four different guides in the first main area. Let's call it that. And the other ones will be released this year. And the first guide is no more than about 120 pages or so, 2 hour audio, and that was with some of the extra stuff I did. But I'm going to keep the other ones down to less than 100 pages, possibly, and try somewhere between uh, 30, 40, and 50 minutes. So it's something you can listen to when you are driving home or you drive to work. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes, and then you drive back. You can listen to the rest because I want to make it accessible. I want to make you feel comfortable when you're reading it, because a 2 hour book, I think it's 2 hour and 22 minutes or something like that. A 2 hour audio, sometimes that's daunting. Sometimes it takes so much time you never get to hear it. And it's good information, guys. It's I put the book out last last May, and then I did the audio just the beginning of January, or was it February, maybe somewhere in there. And there's a reason for that, but we won't go into that now. But here we go, guys. You'll see more as you stay with the channel and as you build with the channel. I also have a Patreon that I'm building, and you can see, be a part of this for a small fee. But right now, you get to hear this for nothing at all. So it's the AI Trillionaire Master Manuscript, the 8-layer sovereign ecosystem architecture for the Agentic Era. Gemini does a lot for me, guys. And here we go. The AI architect's vision, or you see it says architect, but I like to say AI architect, so we respect those that's had the degree or study as an architect. This is the definitive blueprint for the AI trillionaire architect. In a world of digital chaos, clarity is the ultimate weapon. And I speak about that all the time. Clarity, algorithmic clarity. And that's the idea I want you to get from everything I do. I want you to have clarity. And if you can't get clarity from me, guys, I'm going to be honest. Take it to one of your favorite chatbots, LLMs, or whatever, and get clarity from what is being spoken about. So, ultimate weapon. By expanding to the 8-layer ecosystem, we separate tools from results and velocity from gravity. The manuscript document the infrastructure of the sovereign empire, from the physical atoms to energy to ancient security of gold. Why I made this 8-layer ecosystem. Again, the first 5 layers is something you can search right now in Jensen Huang. He will say these first 5 layers. So I got them from the AI ecosystem industry, something standard. But I added the last 3 to work with what I'm doing in the AI Trillionaire and how we see it can go. And it may be a 9th layer at one point. But right now, these 8 layers work for my AI Trillionaire ecosystem and the one I'm sharing with you. So the 8-layer AI ecosystem, the deep dive. So layer 1, the energy layer, the lifeblood, strategic imperative, power sovereignty. Intelligence is the thermodynamic process. You do not run AI, you power it. The grid bottleneck. The public grid is a single point of failure. An architect cannot afford a flicker, like I'm having with this system today, guys. I can't afford this. Uh, Nuclear and SMRs The integration of small modular reactors directly into data center footprints create a closed loop system. The energy to intelligence ratio. Every token generated has a cost in electrons. By owning the energy source, you collapse production costs while competitors pay retail rates. This is your permission to exist. And again, guys, I know the energy layer is for the total, the major companies. Let's put it that way. But I'm going to talk to you as if it's yours as well, because we do use it. We have access. So layer 2, the silicon layer, the engine, strategic and imperative. The physical moat. If energy is the fuel, silicon is the motor. This is the physical transformation of electricity into computation. Compute sovereignty. Owning access to high density hardware, GPUs, TPUs, ensures your empire isn't throttled by compute poverty. You ever heard that before? Never heard of that before. Compute poverty. Before I created this. Hardware, software fusion. This is where NVIDIA/CUDA moat lives. Whoever controls the chips controls the speed of thought. You can copy software, but you cannot copy a 3 nanometer chip. And listen what they said. This is a moat. And when you hear me speak about the AI Trillionaire system, I might talk about a moat. It's just like a castle. It's something that surrounds your empire, and people can't get through. And if they can, it's very few and far between. You probably have to let down the bridge, the drawbridge, if we're looking at a castle, and let them through so they can play in your empire. So that's what that is. Layer 3, the infrastructure. And again, look online. I might see if I can find the video. But if you go online and search Jensen, Jensen, Huang, however you pronounce that, Huang, I believe. He's the CEO for NVIDIA. Once it was a $5 trillion empire, and I'm sure it will be again soon. He is the one, he laid down, he said, generally, this is the 5-layer AI ecosystem. So I want to stay there, because when you hear this, I don't want you to say, well, what is he talking about? That doesn't sound like anything that I know is a 5-layer infrastructure. And since he's the ecosystem, and since he is the part of the biggest company in history, and he has some of the most major products that run this ecosystem, I know he knows what he's talking about. And next, layer 3, infrastructure, the factory. Strategic and imperative. The industrialization of intelligence. Silicon is useless without a body. Layer 3 is the industrial complex that houses the mind. The AI megafactory, high-speed networking, and liquid cooling required to make 100,000 chips act as a single unified brain. I don't need to say that again. You get it. Real estate moat. Physical land with high voltage permits is the new prime property. This is your physical stake in the ground. That's it, guys. And also, as I show you where my layer 8 is, also I believe that real estate can play in that layer 8 area as well. I got to get more clarity on that, but I really do believe it can play in that area as well. I remember I took my first real estate classes in was it 95 or something like that, 96 or whatever. And I remember my instructor used to joke, his little joke, oh, land, they're not making it anymore, as a joke. But location, 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 prime land, own land. And it always meant something, but now it could mean more than ever. Layer 4, the model layers, the discovery. Now, when I first started talking about the ecosystem, for some reason, I felt the discovery should have been in layer 3. But then, like I said, I did my research and I followed Jensen, and I go with the models in layer 4. And this is how we do it: strategic, imperative, the science of reasoning. This is the R&D floor, where you move from building the body to designing the mind. The invention of intelligence, algorithms that move beyond prediction into active reasoning, proprietary data flywheels, building private brains that learn from your specific non-public data. This ensures your AI is smarter than the off-the-shelf versions used by the masses. So, and again, some of these areas and places blend, because this is where I felt, again, uh, the research and development should have been, and then some of the application layers should have fell in there. I felt some of the research and development should have been in the infrastructure layer, is what I mean. Layer 3, because you build the infrastructure, then you start doing what you need to do. Then you come with the layer 4, and those are the models that you create. But there you go. They're still the models that you create, and you also discover and you research and development there as well. And here is layer 5, the application layer. These are your ChatGPTs, Perplexities. These are your TikToks even. These are the things that we could apply this information to. So here we go. Scalable software, the digital storefront that delivers intelligence as a tool to the masses. And keep that word tool, because I've changed my thought process on AI. It's not just a tool. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. To the masses with zero marginal cost distribution. Scalable throughput. Products like ChatGPT or Perplexity, tools that millions use simultaneously with zero human intervention. The interface, the user-facing tool that packages layer 4's power into a repeatable, automated experience. This is where you build reach. And again, they blend, guys, because also the solutions layer, which I felt at first could stop at layer 5. But as I started looking at my AI Trillionaire infrastructure and the AI Trillionaire infrastructure I'm building here, I said, I want to break that up. So we're going to stop. If you listen to Jensen, he says, generally, this is what we need in the AI ecosystem: the energy layer, the silicon layer, the infrastructure layer, the model layer, and the applications layer. So this is why I come with layer 6, although applications layer is doing something, and everyone's making money in each layer. And we'll talk about Elon Musk as well. He has the whole stack. Some people just play in certain layers. NVIDIA has layer 2, the silicon layer, is sold up, but they also have infrastructure. They probably have energy. Don't quote me on that, but I know, and they definitely have models, but they really dominate the silicon layer. But Elon Musk, he dominates every layer in this 5-stack layer. Actually, every layer in my 8-stack layer, he dominates. He has energy, he has his chips, he has this infrastructure, the housing, everything. So here is my extra layers. I'll tell them to you and then I'll explain them. layer 6, the solutions layer, which can definitely lie and play in the fifth layer of the original AI ecosystem. The seventh layer, the governance layer, and the gold defense. Guys, I've learned a lot about gold in this last 2 to 3 weeks. I remember I had some stocks on gold. It was in paper a few years ago, maybe 2020, 2019, somewhere in there. And I understood it. I didn't keep it, but that's what I had then. Now I understand something totally different. I understand what I've heard and what they've talked about for years and years and decades, even as far as, modern times. So here we go. Layer 6, the solutions layer, the service. So this is where, again, I put it at first into the layer 5, but the other day I just said we need a layer 6, the solutions layer. And this is why I built this to be a solution. These are things that we do. This is where people like you and I, and general, we can play in this layer without a problem, because we're using the multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure that's built from those who have the energy, the who have the silicon, the infrastructure. For those who have, give me a second. It's always in my mind, but sometimes I skip it. The models, the applications, and we use those tools so we can build solutions to connect to the people. And this is some of those solutions. I have a publication. It's called AI, or 21 AI Business Startups. Obviously, there's thousands of AI business startups, and I did this last fall. So even since then, AI has done so much. Even within the guide, the AI Trillionaire guide, it was so many changes just in the last 2 to 3 months. This is something like we've never seen, guys. This industry is doing something like we've never seen as ever, period. That's it. Our understanding, unless you know of a higher education, or not a higher education, but a higher intelligence somewhere else. If you know, you know. I'm not familiar with them, so this is something that we've done like never before. This industry, AI industry. So anyway, solutions layer, strategic imperative, high margin, vertical dominance. This is the final mile. Why the app is a product, a solution is a result. And I'll explain that to you. Value-based harvesting, tailoring the stack to solve messy, specific human problems, logistics, law, and machines. Vertical integration, you don't charge for a login, you charge for implementation and return on investment. This is where most money is made. Believe it or not, this is where most money is made. Because let me explain that to you. Let's go back here. High margin, vertical dominance. This is the final mile. While an app is a product, a solution is a result. And I'm gonna actually tell this to you too, a couple ways. But the first way is this young lady. I've been watching her for about 15 years off and on LinkedIn. She just did a post and said she's created X amount of apps using vibe coding, and it took her whatever it took her, a few days, a few weeks, or whatever, not a few weeks, few days, whatever it was, few hours, few days is what I'm trying to say. And she said a lot of stuff like that would take months, days, whatever. But now she did it so easy, and she charged $7,200 for one of her last products. I'm like, wow. And that's what I want you to get. So whoever created the vibe coding app, or the concept, or the app that did the vibe coding, obviously she's paying a premium. It might be $100 a month. It might be $200 a month. But look at her margin. She created that app in less than, let's just say, less than weeks. Because I don't know exactly how long it took her to create it or design, or how long they had to give it to her or whatever. And she might be paying 100, 200, 300 for that application, or that that product for her to do that, but she charged $7,200, guys. That is a high margin vertical dominance. And I don't know all the prices, but I paid $21 for Gemini. At one point, I had the Ultra, so I was paying $125 a month for the intro, but then that $250 just a little bit more. I know, AI Trillionaire. We'll get it back. It's just what I wasn't able to do much with it for the price. That's my car payment. So, we got to get this mobile on point. So here we go. So you see that profit margin. And that's why I wanted to flip these, because, that's why I wanted to add that solutions layer, because that's a solution. You can have that app and not even understand how to do it, but if you have the skills to use that app and our application, whatever it may be, and you can give a solution to these companies and charge them $7,200. Now, obviously, it takes a lot of money to make a TikTok or app that codes, vibe coding, or some of these, obviously, these models. It takes a lot to run them, but they don't charge a lot in the scheme of things. Like I said, I remember there was ChatGPT did something, I think it was somewhere between $300 to $500 per month. But like I said, she used her app, whatever she used, and she charged $7,200. You understand? She's paying for ChatGPT for a year, and she's doing some other stuff. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So that's how that works, guys. And that's why I believe that layer 6 is a solutions layer. Right now, I think it's going to work for my system here. And it doesn't throw anyone off because they have the base system that Jensen spoke of. Energy layer, 9 times out of 10, you and I are not going to own these energy, nuclear modules, small modules, or whatever. We're not going to own those. We're not going to be NVIDIA. There's a company that might be able to catch up with NVIDIA, or at least play in the same area, space as NVIDIA, but yeah, you'll never, that's dominant. They have it. So you won't be really in there. You might be able to produce one chip that's amazing, but it'll never have the physical moat and the visual, the aspect, the concept of NVIDIA and what they're doing and what they've done over the last, 30 years? The infrastructure. Depending on your wealth, you could buy land, or you could have had land where they purchased to build a mega factory, AI mega factory. So you might be in that space. The models, potentially, you could definitely, depending on your investments, your wealth, you could create another model. Claude has done it. These places, they've done it, and they're catching up. If you sleep, they're catching. They're right behind you. Applications layers. TikTok, they're producing TikToks every day. You get what I'm saying? They're producing TikToks every single day. It just depends on what you do and how much promotion you have. So, but most of the time you'll do something, whatever you do, it'll be in the solutions layer. So let's say that again, and then I'll keep going. There you go. I don't need to say it again. Value-based harvesting, vertical integration. So layer 7, this is another new layer that I wanted to add with the AI Trillionaire vision. And you know what? I'll take criticism. If you say, Greg, we don't need that, this is how we need to do it, I get that. If you say, Greg, you need to add another one, I get that. I'll listen, I'll learn. And I learn from AI every day. I study every day, I read every day, but I can take whatever I study and read and put it into Gemini, and it takes me to a whole nother level. Yes, sometimes I see a hallucination. It told me I was supposed to be in Cedar Point this week. I said, I'm not supposed to be in Cedar Point this week. Oh, I'm sorry. so, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, if you say, Greg, we don't need all of these layers, I'm going to show this layer in the AI Trillionaire infrastructure because I feel good with it. I feel good at what it's done. But the governance layer, the mastermind, the strategic imperative, system defense and optimization. Layer 7 presents agentic chaos. It is the internal controller that keeps the empire aligned with the architect's will. Algorithmic guardrails. Systems that automatically shut down agents that violate profitability or TAGR vibes. Total alignment for growth. Relentless vibes, guys. And I got something else it stands for. Parameters. If you have guardrails and parameters, this governance layer helps your company. I know somebody's going to say, oh, well, the government, we already had it at the top. But there has to be a governance layer inside your infrastructure as well. The oxygen mask protocol, and this is part of it. This is what I've learned. The oxygen mask protocol, monitoring system health and redirecting resources to prioritize the architect's stability above all else. I've always had part of this issue, guys. I want to build a lot of people. Then I got down to just building my circle. And now I'm down to just, I'm going to build mine first. I'm going to put on my oxygen mask. If I was on an airplane before I help anyone else, put on my oxygen mask, then I can help all of the other people. So that's the oxygen mask protocol. Also got a guide about that as well. And layer 8, the gold defense, the fortress, guys. You know so much about gold. We've heard so much about gold all of our life. But I've never done a deep dive, a deep understanding of what gold truly means to us. We won't do that right now today. But I'm going to tell you why that's my layer 8. So the gold defense, the fortress, strategic imperative, the gravity of wealth. If 7 layers represent the velocity of wealth, layer 8 represents the gravity. Systemic failure protection. Silicon and energy are fragile. Gold is the physical anchor, the legacy anchor, siphoning digital profits into physical assets. Gold, hard land. We talked about that. That land plays in layer 8. Ensures your status outlives the technology cycle. Physical gold requires zero energy to maintain its value for 5,000 years. Stay on the channel, guys. You'll hear so much more about gold than you've ever really heard. I mean, well, I don't know if you've ever really heard, but than I've ever really heard. Put it that way. Because I've heard about using gold, storing gold. I've heard about trading gold, owning gold, vaulting gold, but I never understood it like I've understood it now. Right now, guys. And it's amazing. This is the time to own gold. And not only that, it's a place called UBS. You got to look up the total definition. I think it used to stand for the banking of Switzerland. Let's put it that way. I could tell you shortly, but right now we're not worried about it. But they still use that acronym, but I think it means something else. It's not mean something else. It's another company's name. But they use that acronym because it's the top of the top. They deal with trillions of dollars of understanding of the industry. And you guys, you might have to If you see something in the back, don't worry about it. I know my son's graduation caps and or graduation suits back there, so it might be a lot of other stuff back there. Don't worry about that. So anyway, this UBS said that gold may move to $6,200 per ounce in this summer. Right now it's at 4,700 per ounce, give or take. But then I heard another wealthy guy, a billionaire, multi-billionaire, he said gold is going to 10,000. I think it was by the end of the year or something. Wow, guys. And you stay with the channel, you're going to see why this gold does what it does. But one thing I'm going to tell you is physical gold requires zero energy to maintain its value for 5,000 years. Now, if you just got tons of gold, you will need a vault. Or you can use my understanding, which is vaulted gold and liquid gold, able to be liquid. So we won't go into that now because this is just for me to introduce this 7-layer or the 8-layer AI ecosystem for the AI Trillionaire. Again, the first 5-layer works well for the AI Trillionaire. It's already done. There's multi-trillion-dollar companies out there doing it, using it. I added this because I believe it fits my situation a little bit better. And you'll learn a little bit more about how it works. So let me explain a little bit to you about the TAGR Vibes governance system. Now, that's something I call an operating system. It has a few meanings, but one of the most important meanings was total alignment for growth, relentless vibes. That like says everything I want to do in business. I want to be totally aligned, I want to grow, and I want to be relentless with my vibes in building a business. And when I say relentless, that's not relentless. It's relentless. That's what I want to be, guys. But let's read this a little bit. Layer 7 is the superego of the digital empire. It ensures every agent operates within the architect's specific frequency. And this is another. I love how Gemini always gives me a new acronym if he feels it works better. If he or she, whatever. I got a female's voice, but I got a male's voice on the other. Couldn't change it. So TAGR structural guardrails. Now this is not part of the layer. We have the 8-layer, but this is what you use in layer 7, or you just use this as a standalone operating system is what I call it. And I'll tell you, after I go through this, I'll tell you where I originally got the acronym. You probably know it if you watch me at any time. TAGR, the structural guardrails. So T, in this case, stands for technical trust, cryptographic verification of all AI outputs to ensure zero hallucinations reach the client. A, agentic alignment. There's that alignment. A North Star objective look. If an agent drifts 3% from the primary goal, it is reset. Governed growth. There's a growth, and here you say govern again. Real-time monitoring of energy and silicon consumption to optimize margins. And risk resiliency, an automated immune system that quarantines adversarial attacks or prompt injections. I don't even know what that is, guys, but I know what risk and resiliency is, So Vibe, here's the new acronym for this particular version. I like that. I don't remember what it was. It was some kind of thing. They say, what does that stand for? It stands for so. And then the next scene, what does that stand for? Oh, it stands for so. It was just a whole bunch of different definitions for the acronym. But here you go. Vibe, value centricity. Does this action increase the net worth or net wisdom of the empire? Okay, I like that. I, Integrity of data, filtering training loops to prevent low frequency data entry. B, balance of power, maintaining the equilibrium between automation and the architect's oversight. E, energy efficiency, optimize electron flow for high vibrational output. Synergy, ensuring all agents communicate seamlessly to eliminate silos. And that means just their own, everybody's in their own little silo. So I love how Gemini does this for me, and it may do it for you too. I ask for a lot of acronyms. I want things to stand for stuff. Plus, VIP originally stood for videos, images, pictures. And obviously, you know, VIP stands for very important person. So I always try to look for acronyms. Tagger Vibes, TAGR stands for what it really stands, where I got it from. Years back, I had the Think and Grow Rich Thursdays. TAGR, Think and Grow Rich. And then I came up with another acronym, Total Alignment for Growth, Relentless Vibes. But there's some other acronyms that we have as well, and I'll share them with you at one point. And this is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Elon Musk, and then we'll get out of here. But I'm going to talk about this, and then we'll get out of here, guys. I appreciate you. The Musk-verse mapped into the 8-layer AI ecosystem. So what I like to do is, when I create something or when I study something, I want to see how it fits with the real world. Like, although I have this 21 AI business startups, I also have 21 AI business titans. I also have 21 AI businesses that's already in the industry, and I'll be doing studies on them as well. So the Muskleverse, like I told you, he already stacks the 5-layer. Everything he does, you'll see some of it right now. AI 5-stack layer. But let me read this, guys, and we'll get out of here. It's been about 40 or so minutes, so I'll try to get us out of here in about 7 minutes. So I will just read this quick, and then we'll do another study on this later. So the Muskleverse, I call the Muskleverse, and other people do too, everything that he does, this thing around his whole universe. It's the Muskleverse, Elon Musk, mapped into the 8-layer AI ecosystem. As the magnetic commander, is certain names that Gemini calls me, but I'm going to just keep going, guys. As the magnetic commander operating from the house of magnet, we realize that the traditional tech leaders operate on a limited 5-layer stack. By expanding to 8 layers, we bridge the gap, building tools, and owning realty. Here is how the world's most prominent AI empire maps directly into this framework. And I just want to see how things map, guys. Obviously, the first 5 you already know what they are. The energy layer, the lifeblood, Musk blueprint, Tesla energy, megapacks, and solar, and Memphis turbines. Musk is a power sovereign. The power of xAI's Colossus supercomputing facility. He has bypassed the grid by deploying 35 massive gas turbines. He owns the thermodynamic input required for thought. Layer 2. The silicon layer, the engine, the Musk blueprint, custom D1 Dojo chips, FSD hardware. By designing custom silicon in-house, Musk escapes the compute poverty. His specialized AI inference chips are designed specifically to run Tesla's neural networks, controlling the physical engine of intelligence. Layer 3, infrastructure, the factory. The Musk blueprint, xAI, Colossus supercomputer, and Starlink. This is an industrialization of intelligence. Colossus provides the raw compute factory, while Starlink provides the latency-free planetary nervous system that connects the machine globally. We'll talk more about that as well, guys, with my experience with Starlink. Layer 4, the models layer. Musk blueprint, Grok, and the FSD neural network. Musk trains neural networks on the physical reality rather than just text. Tesla's bird's eye view networks process video from millions of cars to output uh, 3D representations, creating the ultimate proprietary data software. Layer 5, the applications layer, the product, the Musk blueprint, the X platform, and the Tesla dashboard. These are the scalable interfaces. X serves as the digital storefront for Grok, while the Tesla dashboard is the interface for the driving models, capturing massive attention and data at scale. So I was funny. I was talking to a guy about this later, and then I'll continue, or earlier yesterday, and he was talking about X serves as a digital storefront for how Grok answers sometimes, or a lot of times, obviously. So because it has real time information. So here we go, guys. Layer 6, the solutions layer. Now this is a layer that I put up after the full layer 5. The Musk blueprint. This is where he creates a lot of income as well. Robo taxis, he's just making these. Optimus, the Star Shield. This is the shift from product to result. Optimus selling labor as a service. Robo taxis selling autonomous transportation solutions. Star Shield selling a classified dedicated LEO satellite swarm to provide defense and target tracking as packaged solution. And also somewhere in there, Starlink should be there as well, or Starlink may be part of Star Shield. I have to do a little research about that, but I think it is actually. But yeah, Starlink is going to be something massive. I've been seeing the advertising everywhere. Layer 7. Layer 7, the governance layer, the mastermind. Musk blueprint. The algorithm is decentralized truth and decentralized truth. Musk prevents agentic chaos through a ruthless 5-step operational protocol. Question, delete, simplify, accelerate, automate. Eternally, X's community notes acts as a decentralized governance layer to crowdsource systemic truth. There you go, guys. And layer 8, the gold defense. This is going to say something else, but generally when I say the gold defense, I'm sure he's in the way I meant the layer to be, but listen to what this says. The gold defense, the Musk blueprint, star base, mega factories, the multi-planetary anchor. Musk converts digital wealth into the heaviest hard assets on Earth. Millions of acres for gigafactories and the stainless steel rockets of SpaceX. Starship is the ultimate insurance policy, locking wealth into the physical hardware required to make humanity multi-planetary. You see that, guys? He fits into a system that I created because I wanted a system to continue, so I can show you how you can take, let's go back and tell you what was the reason. By expanding to this 8-layer ecosystem, we separate the tools from results and the velocity from the gravity. The manuscript documents the infrastructure of the sovereign empire, from physical atoms of energy to the ancient security of gold. No matter where you are using this AI ecosystem, the 5-layer or the 8-layer, it comes all the way down. Your profits, you put them in this 5,000-year vault. Something is maintained value for 5,000 years. Again, you can use hard land as well, but gold is something you definitely need. You need access to gold. You don't need to have it to spend it, but you need to have it. I know how to spend it as well. All right, guys. Thank you for staying here. Hope you got an understanding, and I'll continue. This is something I just created maybe a few days ago. I've been thinking about it because when I first looked at the 5-layer the 5-layer AI ecosystem, you know what I told you. I felt that it was missing something. And at one point, I even confused it to having a solutions layer at layer 5. But that didn't make way for the layer that Jensen promotes. So I had to make way for that. So we're aligned. That's the best thing to be. So you're aligned with a multi-trillion-dollar company, major knowledge, who's changed the industry like no one else. You got to be aligned with that, guys. You got to be aligned with that before you can build on top of that or build around it or use their infrastructure to build. And that's what I'm doing, guys. So thank you so much. It's Gregory's